the Louisiana swamplands. Out here, you're either lunch or you're enjoying it. Make sure you end up on top with the all-powerful lineup of Kia SUVs, like the Telluride, Sportage, and Sorento, equipped with available all-wheel drive, higher ground clearance, and the interior capacity to bring everything you need, so you'll always remain more than a gator's length ahead. Visit your local Kia dealer today to find your next adventure in our ever-capable lineup of SUVs. Kia, movement that inspires.
Call 800-3334-KIA for details. Always drive safely.
Local news, national news, even feel-good news. Delivering the topics that are relevant to you.
That's why I listen to Joe. He covers it all.
The Joe Kelley Show on WDBO.
Well, I'm so glad you're joining us here on the Joe Kelley Show. My name is, I'm Joe. My name is Joe Kelley. I'm Joe, and I'm going to confess something that we're not allowed to admit on the radio. I'm tired. I am really tired. And I filled in for Brian Kilmeade earlier this morning. I got up, I don't know, like at 5 o'clock or so, which is usually, that's quite a bit earlier than when I normally wake up. But, remember when you're Laurel. Hey, Laurel. Hey, Laurel.
Hi, hello.
Remember when you were back in school and you would take like a sick day? You couldn't take a sick day at school and then show up at like cheerleading practice or football practice or whatever, right? Like if you're going to take a sick day, you can't go to your Boy Scout meeting or you can't go out that night. I mean, you've got to stay home and be sick. Well, similarly, if I fill in for Brian Kilmeade, I can't call out on my show. I'm not allowed to do that. So if I'm going to fill in for Kilmeade, I have to host my show as well. But I'm pooped. I am tired today. And I know it doesn't seem like that. And I honestly, I don't know how Brian Kilmeade does it anyway, but hosting a 3-hour talk radio show is exhausting. I mean, it really is exhausting. It is, I'm not out digging ditches. I'm not in the heat of the day. I get it. The bullets aren't flying at me. I get it. But man, talking on the radio for 3 hours can be really mentally exhausting. It's it's taxing on the body, and I'm pooped. But I'm not going to let that get in the way of what will be another award-winning program here this afternoon, and I'm gonna start by pulling back the curtain. We had an argument in the newsroom earlier. It was more of an academic argument. It wasn't like a personality conflict. It was an academic argument. When we report on national news, network news, we report on like news out of D.C., White House news, stuff like that. We have to rely on other people's reporting and other people's writing. And so we got the report this afternoon that says that President Biden is going to go to Maui, and the report said, quote, next Monday. So that started a discussion about when next Monday is. And in my mind, I have always, since I was like a child, we had a discussion, I guess, when I was a child, and that resolved this issue for the totality of my life. My whole life, if you would have said to me next Monday, I remember someone explaining this to me. I had to have been very young. I had been in like middle school or something, but I remember someone explained to me the difference between this Monday and next Monday. And they said that this Monday is the Monday that's coming up. Next Monday is the Monday after that. So we had a report that said that President Biden was going to go to Maui, quote, next Monday. So now I'm like, well, I don't know which Monday that is. So we started a discussion amongst all of us. And Laurel, you think that next Monday and Monday are the same thing.
Yeah, so when I was reading these reports like you were, in my brain, I'm like, okay, so in 5 days he's going to go on the 21st. But then you explained it to me, and I'm like, you know what? You're right. Like, if I was explaining to somebody that date, I'd say this upcoming Monday. That's how I would say it.
Right.
And
for me, if it was this upcoming Monday, I would just say Monday. President Biden is going to Maui on Monday. We don't need to say next Monday. That's an extra word, and we don't need that word in there.
Yeah, so I understood what the reporters were saying, but then you confused me, so I'm still blaming you.
Well, then I finally said, oh, fine. So we Googled the difference between this Monday and next Monday when we should have just Googled when is Joe Biden going to Maui. But we wanted to finish our academic discussion about the difference between this Monday and next
Monday.
Monday.
Words are hard, Joe.
They are hard, Paul Cross. That's all we do is deal with words all day long.
We're not giving the credit that we deserve.
We're not. Yes.
Words are hard.
So we parse these things all day long, and so we found out that President Biden is going to Maui Monday. as in this coming Monday. Not next Monday, but next Monday by definition evidently is also this Monday. So if this Monday and next Monday mean the same thing, then why do we have two different ways of saying it? I want to talk to the person in charge.
We're all too tired for this conversation.
Would you put the manager on the phone? I want to talk to your boss and find out who...
The word president? You want to talk to the word president?
I want to get the word president on the phone right now. Grammar teachers. Get grammar teachers on the phone right now. I want to know the difference between this Monday and next Monday and whether or not there is, in fact, a difference.
I've always thought that if it was Sunday and you go, hey, next Monday, then that's the following Monday. If you're closer to the day, then it means the next. But I always would say, just like you said, Monday. It's Monday. This Monday or Monday.
Right. Why would anybody say next Monday? Next
I
Monday
don't know.
doesn't make any sense.
Because the next Monday that we happen to come across would be the day, right?
Well, that would be this Monday.
Again, words are hard.
I know. It's difficult. They're not paying us enough for this, for figuring out which words to use on the radio.
Let's do math problems instead.
Oh, yeah.
We all love it.
We're much better at math than we are at the English language, yes. Oh, for heaven's sake, 844-580-WDBO. If for any wild chance you want to join the discussion about this Monday or next Monday, you can join us at 844-580-WDBO, or you use the open mic and the WDBO app. I'm very, very excited that the Make-A-Wish-a-thon, our Wish-a-thon for Make-A-Wish, is coming up next Friday. So not this.
Good one.
Not
proper usage.
Not this Friday. The Friday after this Friday, which would be next Friday.
Somebody made a recommendation saying the following Friday.
The following Friday?
Yeah.
Right.
Would that work?
Or we could just say Friday, August 25th.
That would work too.
So the 5th annual WDBO Wish-a-thon for Make-A-Wish of Central and Northern Florida is coming up Friday, August 25th. That is 1 week from this Friday. Join me as I broadcast live. This is a one-day Wish-a-thon event. And I will tell you, we've made two significant changes since last year. Last year and the 3 previous years. So for the last 4 years, we have done this event at Topgolf. We changed locations this year. Don't ask me why. We changed locations this year, and we're going to be at Urban Air Adventure, which is, if you've never been to Urban Air, they've got 2 locations now, one down south, actually literally right next door to where I live. And then there's the one where we're going to be, which is at Cranes Roost Park in Altamont Springs. Now, on that day, Friday, August 25th, we're going to have our full Orlando's Morning News with Scott and Ez until 9 a.m. And I'll be joining him throughout the show, starting, as early as 6 a.m. out there at Urban Air Adventures. But then beginning at 9 a.m., it is going to be all Joe Kelley all the time from 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. We're going to interrupt all of our regular programming, and we are simply going to be on the air telling you about Make-A-Wish, all the amazing things that Make-A-Wish does for children right here in Central and Northern Florida. The reason why I say Central and Northern Florida is because the chapter that is the beneficiary of these funds that you guys donate, and the chapter for which I volunteer my time, effort, blood, sweat, and tears, is called Make-A-Wish of Central and Northern Florida. We have different chapters throughout the state. Some states are small enough so that they encompass the entire state. I'll give you an example. When I moved here from Oklahoma, the Oklahoma chapter covered the whole state. So is Make-A-Wish of Oklahoma. But this is Make-A-Wish of Central and Northern Florida. And Northern Florida basically just means Jacksonville. So it doesn't go out to the Panhandle. That is a different chapter altogether. So it goes out up to Jacksonville. So it's basically Orlando and Jacksonville. And those are the beneficiaries of that. So any dollars you donate to Make-A-Wish here during this effort stays right here in Central Florida. A big thank you to City Kia of Greater Orlando for their help with this project. They have, the last couple of years, have been just a phenomenal partner for this. And we're only doing 10 hours. And yes, that's going to be a day long of programming, but it's only 10 hours. 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. is, we did the math, and we've triple checked it. It's 10 hours from now, right? Can you double check that? 9 a.m. to 7 p.m., that's 10 hours. So, and in 10 hours, our goal is to raise $60,000 in 10 hours. And we figured this out, right, Paul Cross? We did the math on this. So that means we have to raise $1,000. Oh, I forget already.
No, it was $6,000 an hour. Yep.
And so it's $100 a minute. We have to raise $100 a minute from 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. next Friday, August 25th. So that's a very ambitious goal, and I am confident we can hit it. I feel good about hitting that goal a week from Friday, August 25th, out there at Urban Air Adventure near Cranes Roost Park. We're going to have all kinds of things. The kids will be able to come out and the Urban Air Adventure, it's a trampoline park, basically. But it's more than that. They've got, go-kart racing. They've got a rock climbing wall. I mean, it is it's a children's playground. It's a children's epic playground. It's a whole lot of fun. So you're going to really love that. And bring the kids out after school. We would love to get a chance to meet you. Even if you don't have the means to make a donation or you're already committed elsewhere, if you want to come by and say hi, I would love to get a chance to meet you. I'd love the opportunity to shake your hand and to personally thank you for listening to WDBO. So make it a point next a week from Friday, a week from this Friday, August 25th. It is our 5th annual WDBO Make-A-Wish-a-thon, and I'm so very, very excited about that. I spent my entire summer meeting with Make-A-Wish families and interviewing them and getting to know them and finding out their stories, and I'm so excited to be able to share those stories with you coming up a week from Friday, August 25th. Out there at Urban Air Adventure. I'm Joe Kelley. Coming up next here on The Joe Kelley Show, the stories, the headlines that you missed while you're at work today. We'll have that for you coming up next. Stay right where you are.
The Louisiana Swamplands. Out here, you're either lunch or you're enjoying it. Make sure you end up on top with the all-powerful lineup of Kia SUVs, like the Telluride, Sportage, and Sorento, equipped with available all-wheel drive, higher ground clearance, and the interior capacity to bring everything you need, so you'll always remain more than a gator's length ahead. Visit your local Kia dealer today to find your next adventure in our ever-capable lineup of SUVs. Kia, movement that inspires.
Call 800-3334-KIA for details. Always drive safely.
This is WDBO 107.3 FM and AM 580, Orlando's news and talk.
Joe, we should ask Camellia Harris what next Monday is. It's the Monday after the next Monday, because that's what the Monday is.
That does sound about a lot like Camellia Harris. It's Kamala Harris, but still, I understood your point entirely. We have a remarkably quite a few open mics about this.
Joe, my wife and I argue this all the time. I'm with you. Next Monday is the Monday after. To her, next Monday is the next Monday.
Yeah.
We fight about it constantly.
Yeah, and your wife is wrong. I mean, let's just put it out there. Your wife is wrong. And we're all aware that your wife, you tell her that. I'm not going to tell your wife that. And you probably ought not tell your wife that either. All right, while you're at work today, when you were down in the coal mine, going down, working in the coal mine, these are the stories that you missed today. England beats Australia 3-1 at the Women's World Cup to secure a place in the final against Spain on Sunday. That was 8 hours ago from the New York Times. The United States, of course, is long out of that. The women's team, U.S. women's team, is out. 7 hours ago, CNN had the story. This is actually the crux of our argument here. The White House says President Joe Biden and First Lady Jill Biden will travel to Hawaii on Monday as recovery efforts continue after devastating Maui wildfires. That'll be this upcoming Monday, the 21st. 7 hours ago, Fox Business had the report that Pride Month backlash hits Target's bottom line. Their quarterly report indicated that they took quite a hit because of, conservatives and others who didn't care for their Pride promotion stopped going during the month of July. 6 hours ago, The Hill reported that Special Counsel Jack Smith sought to review former President Trump's direct messages, draft tweets, and location information as his office battled for information related to his account on the platform that is now known as X, formerly known as Twitter. 2 hours ago, ABC News had the incredibly embarrassing report, and I'll tell you who it's embarrassing for coming up in just a second here. But 2 hours ago, ABC News had that Marion County, Kansas, says it will return evidence seized in a controversial police raid of a local newspaper, this after an attorney review. What was really embarrassing about this is that the newspaper was working on a story that the new incoming chief of police for Marion County had lost several jobs because of sexual harassment complaints. So the incoming chief of police had them raid the county newspaper because they were doing a series of reports about what a terrible chief of police the guy was. This is the Streisand effect in great review. Do you think Orlando, Florida would be talking about Marion County, Kansas right now if not for this unlawful and ill-advised police raid of a small-town newspaper? No, but because they wanted to kill the story, it is now not only a national story, but it is a global story. Now the whole world knows what a ding-dong the new chief of police is in Marion County, Kansas. 1 hour ago, CNN reported that Fulton County, this is Georgia, Fulton County DA, asks a judge to set a trial date of March 4th, 2024, for former President Donald Trump and his 18 co-defendants. Some 57 minutes ago, Britney Spears and her husband, Sam Asghari, separate after an explosive fight about cheating rumors. So it's a fight about cheating rumors, not necessarily a fight about cheating. And 45 minutes ago, CNN reported that U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken, spoke by phone on Wednesday with wrongfully detained American Paul Whelan, who is being held in a remote prison camp in Russia. That, according to CNN, some 45 minutes ago. There, you're all caught up on all the stories that you missed out on today while you were at work. I'm Joe Kelley. Our number is 844-580-WDBO. Coming up next, scientists say that all men can fit into one of three categories. We'll figure out which category you fit into. That's coming up next. Stay with us here on The Joe Kelley Show on WDBO.
This is WDBO 107.3 FM and AM 580, Orlando's news and talk. In-depth segments on topics that matter to Orange, Seminole, Osceola, and all of Central Florida. The Joe Kelley Show on WDBO.
I love your show every night. You're doing great, bud.
We got a lot of rain, man. A lot of rain right now. We're getting a little bit of a break right in the heart of downtown, but we got rain coming from every direction at this point, and it's not moving real fast. None of it is severe. That's the good news. The closest to any severe storms are up in Ocala, which is pretty far away. We don't have any severe storms in the three-county area, which is Orange, Seminole, and Osceola. And we don't have any out of the beaches either. So no severe weather in our direct area here in Central Florida. But we do have just a lot of rain, which is, of course, causing wet roads and which always causes traffic problems. If you're just joining us, we're having a very compelling discussion about grammatical challenges that we face here at the radio station. As we got a report earlier that said that President Biden is going to be going to Maui, quote, next Monday. And you know, it started with me saying, hey, what do you consider next Monday to be? Is next Monday the Monday coming up, or is it the Monday after the Monday coming up? And then that opened up a whole can of worms.
I may just be a dumb old roofer, but I'm pretty sure the difference between this Monday and next Monday is 7 days.
Is it, or is it the same day? That's the problem. Is it might be the same day.
I always use it as this Monday or this Tuesday or this Wednesday as the Wednesday, Monday, Tuesday of this week. The next is of next week. So even if it's in the past or future, it would be this.
See, I think in linear terms, not in you know, as a straight line. It just goes. It was one continuous calendar that just goes and goes and goes. So I don't think of dividing it as between weeks. Let's see if this open mic clears things up some.
So, Joe.
Yeah.
It's not that difficult.
Okay.
If this Monday were next Monday, last Monday, then next Monday would be this Monday, next Monday.
Of course.
I have officially gone cross-eyed.
My brain's fried.
I don't. I haven't.
I'm seeing plaid now. That's all I can see.
I couldn't possibly.
If they put it out on a Monday, then they would say next Monday.
Well, yeah. Oh, yes.
The best way of saying this or next Monday or Tuesday or Wednesday is this Monday. Could be in the past, present, or future, but it is of this week. Next Monday is the Monday in next week.
But how could this Monday be in the past? I mean, would you refer to Monday of this week as this Monday?
You'd always add the word past. Hey, this past Monday.
That is not helpful.
But it's this week's Monday. That's where this Monday is this week's Monday.
Okay,
the next Monday refers to the next week.
But this week's Monday was 3 days ago. Well, 2 days ago.
See, that's the problem is I see this Monday, this week is Monday through Sunday in my brain.
Again,
and that's one whole week.
Right. You compartmentalize the weeks where I see it linear. My mind sees it in a linear, but you see it compartmentally. Which
Joe,
neither's wrong.
Ask Google when is next Monday. See what they say.
Okay, hang on. Let me make sure. Okay. Hey, Google, when is next Monday?
August 21st falls on a Monday.
See, that's the next Monday in the calendar.
Wait, hang on. Hey, Google, when is this Monday? Curious.
You broke her.
She's now cross-eyed.
Hey, Google, when is this Monday?
August 21st falls on a Monday.
So it's saying this and next are the same thing.
She's being neutral.
Is Make-A-Wish this Friday or next Friday?
I don't know at this point. I got to be honest with you. It is either this Friday or it is next Friday. I think it is next Friday because it's not.
But
this
I think
Friday.
This far out is. You were right, Joe. I think this far out you say Friday the 25th,
which is what I've been saying.
Yeah, that's you're safe that way.
And Biden is going to Maui on Monday the 21st.
No, he's going to Maui next Monday.
No. Okay, more open mics here.
Mark from Kissimmee.
Hi, Mark.
It's like seeing a sign says next exit. Is it the exit coming up or is it the following exit? The debate continues.
All right, if it was next exit, I would assume that's the immediate exit that's coming up.
The next exit.
Because that would be the next exit. Oh, but then why would I think
So would you put
Monday,
the word the in there? The next Monday?
So why would I think then that the next Monday is a week from Monday? If the next exit is in fact the next exit.
I think we've discovered you're wrong.
Having a back? Having a back?
Joe, I have one question.
Yes.
How do you do it?
Not well.
Going from the Kilmeade show in the morning and then to this show in the afternoon. Do you go home and relax and then come back, or do you have a place to rest in the studio? I don't know. I'm just trying to figure out how you do all that stuff.
Yeah, it's like I said earlier, it's not like I'm outside in the heat digging ditches. I mean, it's possible. But I will definitely go home and go to bed right after this. There's no doubt about that.
Hey, Joe, it's pretty simple. If you say next Monday, it's the next future Monday. Otherwise, you say the Monday after next.
All right, pretty simple. We got that figured out?
Okay.
I want to go back to this guy.
I'm just going to say, okay, yeah, just so we can move on.
I think this was the guy that made the most sense here.
So, Joe.
Yeah.
It's not that difficult. If this Monday were next Monday, last Monday, then next Monday would be this Monday, next Monday.
Got that? I think we're all clear on that at this point. All right, so moving on. The Washington Redskins. I touched on this yesterday, but I wanted to expand upon this. So the Washington Redskins changed their name to the Washington Commanders after going by the moniker of the Washington Football Club team for, I don't know, a season or two. They had been under fire for a long time for using the Redskins as the name of the team because the Redskins is a derogatory, according to some, it is a derogatory term about Native Americans, akin to the N word would be to black people. But, of course, if it really was as bad as the N-word, we wouldn't say the Redskins in any way, shape, or form. But there is now a group called the Native American Guardians Association, or NAGA, which, as I said this morning on the Brian Kilmeade Show, that is a word I do not like saying out loud at all in any form. NAGA. I mean, that's terrible. That is terrible. They should never call anything NAGA. Oh, my gosh. Can we talk about that instead of the Redskins? Don't come up with an acronym of NAGA. That's horrible. So this group called NAGA, the Native American Guardians Association, they're a North Dakota-based nonprofit organization, and they've started a Change.org petition meant to bring back the iconic Washington Redskins name. They have surpassed 100,000 signatures as of last Tuesday. Now, do you know when last Tuesday was? That was yesterday. Or is that this Tuesday?
Or was it last week's Tuesday?
Can I just say...
Because wouldn't you just say yesterday?
Can I just say yesterday? So as of yesterday, they had 100,000 signatures. It was created on June 21st. The petition wants a return to the original name to benefit, quote, the team, its loyal fan base, and legacy it represents. Wouldn't you be frustrated if you went, let's say you're a Washington fan, right? Which nobody is. But if you were a Washington fan and you went out and bought all the new Commanders gear, right? You bought a Commanders jersey, you bought Commanders stickers, you bought Commanders jackets, you bought Commanders everything. Wouldn't you just be aggravated if they switched back to the Redskins now after you bought all the Commanders stuff?
I am friends with this woman who makes gorgeous costumes, and she just had somebody buy a Commanders red and yellow, like George Washington type outfit, right? And I'm sure that was expensive, but he's a huge Commanders fan. So now this guy who just spent $500+ on this fancy outfit to take these games is probably like, oh no.
Yeah, please don't change back now. Not now. Don't change back now. So they believe that the name Redskins carries a deep cultural, historical, and emotional significance, and it honors the bravery, resilience, and warrior spirit associated with Native American culture. That, according to NAGA, they said it was never intended as a derogatory or offensive term, but as a symbol of respect and admiration. I'm sorry, but what is the cliche? You know how good I am with the cliches. A dime late and a dollar short, or a dollar late and a dime short, or something along those lines. They should have raised their objections back before the Commanders changed their name to the Commanders. At this point, the Redskins / Commanders would be stupid to change it back. It's the same thing as like Bud Light. Bud Light should have either stuck with Dylan Mulvaney and their marketing campaign with him, or should have, rejected it and blasted it outright. But you can't have it both ways. You can't say this was a terrible marketing snafu, but we still want to maintain a good relationship with the LGBTQ plus community. You can't do both. You can do one or the other. But the fact that they waffled on it means they literally isolated both groups. Everybody who's not LGBTQ plus and everybody who is LGBTQ plus. I mean, if they would have just at least stayed with Dylan Mulvaney, at least they could say, hey, this was a defiant decision. We made this decision and we're going to stick with it. And I'm sorry, but at this point, if the Commanders switch back to the Redskins, they just look like a bunch of wishy-washy dopes. And they should just, like it or not, stick with the Commanders. It's just not going to work. You can't switch back to the Redskins. No. 844-580-WDBO. Use the open mic in the WDBO app.
The Joe Kelley Show on WDBO. Now, the three big things you need to know.
3. The summer's biggest movie will be available digitally next month. Barbie is now available to pre-order on Amazon for about $20. Greta Gerwig's star-studded movie is set to arrive on September 5th. 2. Stocks are down on Wall Street for the second straight day. This comes after the minutes from the Federal Reserve's July meeting hinted at more rate hikes in the near future. The Fed said additional tightening may be needed to help bring down inflation further.
One.
A March start date is being proposed for former President Trump's election interference case in Georgia. In a court filing today, Fulton County District Attorney Fonnie Willis proposed March 4th as the start date for the trial. The proposed date is just one day before Super Tuesday primary day for the GOP presidential nomination.
The Joe Kelley Show on WDBO. News, weather, traffic, all the things you want on your drive home. Plus, Joe Kelley being, well, Joe Kelley. Now, the Joe Kelley Show on Orlando's News and Talk, WDBO.
Hey, Joe, it's pretty simple. If you say next Monday, it's the next future Monday. Otherwise, you say the Monday after next.
Yeah, okay, that's pretty simple, right?
Always remember that today was tomorrow yesterday.
Oh, boy.
And if people used correct verbiage, it would be this coming Monday or this past Monday. Next Monday is always this coming Monday. Unless they say the Monday after next, which would be a week from this coming Monday.
How do you think that's clarifying this for us? How?
This Monday is Monday coming. Next Monday is Monday coming. Monday week is Monday coming. And last Monday is the one that we've passed.
Well, and he's British, so he obviously knows English better than we do.
We got to carry the one, drop down that. There's a 9.
All right, Joe, so there's this Monday, next Monday, but there's also...
Manic Monday, oh, thought it was Sunday, oh.
I wouldn't be too
Who wrote that song, do you know?
Next Monday business is what gave Joe Biden his 2 brain aneurysms.
I do know who wrote that song. It was written by Prince.
Yep, you're right.
Prince wrote that song for, did he write it for the Bengals, or did he write it for himself and the Bengals did it? I think he wrote it for the Bengals.
The Bengals did it. Yep.
I'd love to hear Prince's version of that. Steve is in Leesburg joining us here on WDBO. Hi, Steve. How are you?
I'm doing good. Almost home. So this is my take on it. This is how I look at it. So today's Wednesday. So that means it would be last Monday, and then this Monday, this coming Monday would be this Monday.
Yep.
Right?
I agree.
And then after the following Monday would be the week after this coming Monday. That's 2 Mondays ahead. Does that make sense?
Yes, but when is next Monday is the question. When is next Monday?
Well, next Monday, from today, next Monday would be this coming Monday.
Well, then why would you say this Monday? See? We shouldn't have two different...
Okay, either way, you should... That's 2 words. You're right.
We've got to stop. Why
do they say this Monday if it's next Monday?
I don't know, Steve. That's the question I've been asking. I'm Joe Kelley. We'll continue the Joe Kelley Show. Coming up next, stay with us.
The Joe Kelley Show on WDBO. Now, WDBO 107.3 FM and AM 580. Triple Team Traffic.
Still seeing some really big delays on I-4 as you make your way into downtown from Parr onto the 408. Further westbound, very heavy from Sand Lake all the way into Polk County. You should get there sometime by next Monday. I-4 eastbound is also very heavy. Stop and go from just after Sand Lake Road all the way through downtown to Princeton, and you got a crash reported before John Young. ProTech Air Conditioning and Plumbing service for honesty, integrity, and 100% customer satisfaction. Call ProTech 407-291-1644 or visit ProTechAC.com. From the WDBO Triple Team Traffic Center, I'm Paul Cross.
This is WDBO 107.3 FM and AM 580, Orlando's News and Talk. Connected to our community. Talk local issues and events with Joe Kelley. Use the open mic in the WDBO app and let Joe know what interests you. The Joe Kelley Show on WDBO.
So we're still 2 hours away from the rocket launch, 2 hours and 7 minutes or so away from the rocket launch. It is currently raining out at Cape Canaveral, and there's lightning not far from Cape Canaveral. But still, it's 2 hours away from now, and we'll wait and see. But it's scheduled to go up at 8:14 p.m. If it happens today. We'll keep an eye on that for you. I'll let you know. All right, so I was reading this study. Researchers studied 92 straight men from Wait a minute. 92 straight men. By 92 straight men, do they mean 92 consecutive men, or do they mean 92 not gay men? 92 straight men.
92 straight men next Monday will be involved in it.
Okay, forget it. Stop. Don't. No, we don't want any more. We don't want any more next Monday calls or open mics. No more. So researchers studied 92 straight men, so not gay. So 92 straight men from diverse cultural backgrounds, and they found that all of the 92 men fit into one of three styles of masculinity. So would you like to know what the three styles of masculinity are? And see if these apply to you. Paul, see if this applies to you. And then Laurel, see which of these applies to your husband, okay? Got it. All right, so here are the three styles of masculinity. There are neo-traditionalists, egalitarians, and progressives. So neo-traditionalists are men who largely follow traditional gender roles, such as being the provider and the protector in the relationship. Egalitarian masculinity is men who seek a more equal partnership with emphasis on mutuality and measurable give and take. And then there are progressive masculinities. Those are men who work on building gender equity in the partnership through regular and purposeful conversations with their partner to adjust who does what. All right, so which men of these categories do you fall into? 844-580-WDBO, or hit me up in the open mic in the WDBO app. And do you agree? Do you agree that men fall into one of those three categories? Laurel, did one of those three categories stand out with you with regards to Mr. Laurel?
I guess maybe the middle one, because he is mostly the provider. So I have a job, but he makes much more money than I do.
Okay.
But he also is the one to cook dinner and breakfast, and he usually leads the charge on cleaning the house. So is that the middle one?
What exactly do you do?
I look pretty.
Oh, well, yes, there's that. That carries some weight, I suppose.
Yeah.
All right. So you think he's more of an egalitarian masculine?
Yeah, sure.
And Paul Cross, of those three definitions, which one do you think you fall into?
You know, that's really tough, because you can't really cast your stone in any one of those things, and that's it. My wife and I, we've been together a long time. We kind of share everything. I'm at home all day. She's a school teacher. So I do the dusting, the vacuuming, I iron, I do all the laundry. My wife, I do all the bills, I do all that kind of stuff. But my wife does an awful lot of things around the house too. She cooks, she's the cook. So it's kind of an equal thing. Whatever works out to make the partnership the best.
All right, well then that sounds like egalitarian. That's men who seek a more equal partnership with emphasis on mutuality and measurable give and take.
Well, I mean, if you put everything into a box and say, I'm sorry, that's not my job, it makes things a lot worse. You just do whatever you have to do.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I think I fall into the first category, a neo-traditionalist, men who largely follow traditional gender roles, such as being the provider and protector in the relationship. I mean, I am the guy with the guns. I am the guy who sleeps closest to the door as a protector. I always open the door for my wife. I always make sure that I am treating her like the woman that she is, the lady that she is. And we take on the Christian roles as well. So in our household, I am the spiritual head of the household. So I make spiritual decisions on behalf of the two of us. When it comes to praying, when it comes to church, when it comes to where we go to church, when it comes to what time we go to church, when it comes to Bible study, when it comes to anything like that. I mean, I decide those things. She will. And a lot of this is based upon just our schedules, kind of like what you're getting at, Paul. You know, just a lot of times it's based upon the practicality of any given moment in a relationship. But because I'm at work all day and she works from home, which is the exact relationship, Paul, that you and your wife have, but opposite, flipped. So I'm at work all day. She's at home all day, but she works from home. She has a home office. So she will often have dinner ready for me by the time I get home, which I love, that she'll have dinner ready for me when I go. But things like laundry, as an example, I am very, very passionate about doing laundry. I love doing laundry.
Hold on now, but I'm you. My husband works from home and does the dinner and stuff, but I have the guns. So why can't I be the traditional guy?
Wait. Okay. So Laurel is now a neo-traditionalist masculinity.
Thank you. Okay.
And fine. That's fine. We got that all sorted out now.
Well, I kind of, you know what? I grew up with 3 older sisters. So that'll give you my frame. They taught me how to be a gentleman. They taught me where to walk on the street. Like you're always the gentleman always walks closest to the
cars. That's right.
Yep. And so they taught me all these things. But then again, they also taught me how to do things to, I'm going to live on my apartment. I'm going to go and move out in my own apartment. I'm not going to want to bring all my clothes home to have my mom do my laundry and things like that. So I learned to do all that. I learned to do everything like that. And eventually in a relationship, you just kind of get into that mold where you just know what each other does and, will do. And that's it. It's not like we don't do anything but those things because we kind of both do all things. But there are certain roles that we just kind of fall into, and that's, again, makes it a great partnership.
In our chat group right now on the WDBO Facebook page, Marie says she doesn't have dinner ready for you, Joe. She has dinner ready for the both of you. That's actually not true. She does not eat the same time I eat. She and I have different diets, different dietary needs. I am perpetually underweight. I am nothing but a skeleton with tightly wrapped skin. That's all I have. And so I have to eat massive quantities of food. I have to eat as many calories as I can shove into my face at any given moment. She, is more like everybody else who doesn't want to eat late. And by the time I get home and get around to eating, it's 8 o'clock, 8:30, 9 o'clock. That's late to have dinner. So she will truly make just dinner for me, and it will end up being leftover food that I take to work. So today I had dirty rice for breakfast. Instead of spaghetti, I had dirty rice for breakfast, and it was delicious, but it was the dinner she made for me last night, though I didn't eat it last night because I was so hungry last night. I stopped in the McDonald's on the way home, and I got a Big Mac and a fry and a Coke on the way home. Which, honestly, I think I'll probably do again tonight. I am so hungry right now. I desperately need food. Why can't I get enough food? I will tell you that my weight problem is still a problem, even though people all the time come to me and say, oh, I wish I had your weight problem. It is still a weight problem. A weight problem is a weight problem, and I have a weight problem, and my problem is I can't keep weight on. Oh, my wife just texted me and said Subway. So, all right, I'll be stopping at Subway on the way home then. Okay, so now I know what we're up. So I'll be having a tuna sandwich, a Subway tuna sandwich, which may or may not be tuna. I'll be having that for dinner, and she'll be having a cold cut combo. I know her order, so cold cut combo. I'll pick that up on the way home. All right, so this out of Missouri, news story out of Missouri. Missouri Supreme Court has ruled that parents of truant kids can be jailed. Is that a good idea? I get that it's important for kids to be in school. I get that truancy is a thing. In fact, school attendance has been way down since the pandemic. A lot of kids have just vanished from the school system. But is it a good idea to jail parents of truant kids? Because if you put them in jail, it's the same as like a debtor's jail. If someone owes money, we generally don't have debtor's prisons in the United States. If you're in debt, putting you in prison is not going to help you pay back your debt. Putting you in prison means you're not going to have any ability to earn money, and the likelihood of you paying back your debt is impossible. Well, similarly, if your kids are truant and you put mom and dad in jail, then that doesn't help getting the kids to class. Eliminating a parent or two doesn't help get the kids to class. And I generally think that's a bad idea. The ruling affirms that school officials were within their rights to take 2 single mothers to court after their kids were absent from classrooms more than the district policy permits. I hate the idea. I hate the thought that a school a school is going to has the power to send parents to jail. That cannot be right. We cannot have that happen. The court said that, contrary to arguments from the mother's attorneys, school attendance laws aren't constitutionally vague, and that the parents knowingly failed to cause their children to attend school on a regular basis after their children were enrolled. So Caitlin Williams was sentenced to 7 days in jail after her kindergartner missed 16 days of school in the 2021-2022 school year. 16 days. And Tamara LaRue was sentenced to 15 days in jail after her first grade son was absent for 13 days. So she's going to spend more time in jail than her son was absent from school. How does that help? Especially if it's a single-parent household. How in the world does that help? I hate the idea that a state, and in particular a school, has the power to jail parents. What do you think? 844-580-WDBO. It's 844-580-9326. You can use the open mic in the WDBO app. What do you think? Should parents be jailed if their kids are truant? If their kids aren't showing up for school, is it okay to put mom and or dad behind bars as a means of punishment for something that their children didn't do, which is show up at school? All right, 844-580-WDBO, or use the open mic, and the WDBO app will get your take coming up next.
The Joe Kelley Show on WDBO. The Joe Kelley Show on WDBO. Insightful.
You tell the truth from your point of view.
Entertaining.
Man, that guy is a lot taller than he sounds on the radio.
And engaging.
When we hear you on the radio, it's a good thing.
The Joe Kelley Show on WDBO.
All right, the Supreme Court of Missouri has ruled that parents of truant kids can be jailed. And in case in point, two single moms have been sent to jail after, in one case, it was a kindergartner. In one case, it was a first grader that they missed, 13 and 15 days, respectively. And so these moms have gone to jail for a couple of weeks each. And I just think that's bad policy. I don't care if it's constitutional or not. I think it's bad policy. The court says it is constitutional, and that's fine. It can be just because it's constitutional doesn't make it a good idea. Let's go to Titusville. Lori is joining us here on WDBO on the Joe Kelley Show. Hi, Lori. How are you?
I'm doing great. My daughter has 4 children, had 4 children at the time. The youngest was an infant. The next one was in kindergarten, and the other 2 were also in different schools. So the schools were assigned by the school district, elementary, and the kindergarten center was separate. She was always bringing the kindergartner in late. I mean, we're talking like 5 minutes, 10 minutes, not anything more than that. And after she was late for probably 35 or 40 times, they called her in and asked her to sit down with this little team, which represented the school board and the leaders of the school. And, we're talking to her about how, her daughter was late, and that essentially that if she kept it up, they could put her in jail. And she just looked at him and said, "Put me in jail.
Wow.
I don't have to take kids to school. I don't have to do, whatever. Don't have to go to work. Don't have to worry about anything. Get my meals for free. Put me in jail."
Well,
and they just kind of looked at her.
Lori, that boils my blood to hear a school threaten a parent with jail.
And she never heard from him again, and the kid really didn't improve her getting there on time.
So they just dropped the subject?
Oh, yeah.
So you think it was it was a bluff?
What she said to them?
No. What the school said to her?
Oh, I'm sure it was.
Yeah,
I'm sure it was a bluff to try to to change her behavior so that she would get her child to school on time.
Yeah, I don't like that at all. I think that's terrible.
No.
Lori, thank you so much for sharing that with us. I certainly do appreciate that out there in Titusville. Again, rocket launch 8:14, slated at least. We'll see what happens with regards to the rain and the forecast, but we'll keep a close eye on that.
Hey, Joe, I totally agree with you about the mothers serving time in jail.
What they should do is force them to volunteer at the school or give like community hours, but doing something at the school with the kids. That would be a much better alternative. Love your show.
Thank you. I appreciate your open mic.
So wait a minute. They want to put parents in jail for kids' truancy, but then the state wants to tell the parents not to be involved with their education?
Yeah.
I'm confused.
Funny how that works, isn't it? The FBI was going to investigate parents who are too involved, but if you're not involved enough, you're going to go to jail. Yeah, that's between a rock and a hard place, I suppose. You know how Chicago is all violent? Everybody keeps getting shot with gun violence in Chicago. So get this. Here's the latest remedy in Chicago. Things have gotten so bad in Chicago that a well-meaning and sincere community group called the North Side Community Group is now calling for people to refrain from shooting guns in Chicago between 9 a.m. and 9 p.m. So they're calling for kind of a daylight curfew for drive-by shootings. Now, I would laugh at that if not for the fact that really it's something you want to cry about. That's how bad the violence is. They're negotiating, pleading with gangbangers and other violent ne'er-do-wells, saying, please stop the drive-by shootings between, or limit, I guess, confine your drive-by shootings to the 12 hours between 9 p.m. and 9 a.m. So they don't want any kind of daylight drive-by shootings, but it's okay to have overnight and graveyard, so to speak, drive-by shootings. What do you guys think? 844-580-WDBO. Use the open mic and the WDBO app.
This is WDBO 107.3 FM and AM 580, Orlando's news and talk. Breaking news to lively debates, covering the issues that matter to you.
I make it a point to listen to Joe Kelley when I need to fully understand what's happening in the news.
Now, the Joe Kelley Show on Orlando's news and talk, WDBO.
Well, I found this to be interesting. So I saw the story today that a Spanish paracyclist, that would be so like a para-Olympian. That's somebody who's injured, who has an injury of some sort to their body. They've got a disability of some sort or whatever. So this guy is a paracyclist from Spain. His name is Ricardo Ten Aguiles. And this guy evidently is just a phenomenal bicyclist. And he has won multiple. And there's a championship going on right now in Glasgow, Scotland, the 2023 UCI World Championships. And this guy, he's 47 years old. He has dominated the proceedings at the competition. He has won gold in 3 separate cycling events over this past weekend, which is the weekend behind us. It's the weekend we've already had. And he's been presented with these prizes on the podium. But what is really interesting is he's been the prizes that he has been awarded. He has been on 3 separate occasions been presented with these beautiful luxury wristwatches. I don't even know how to pronounce this brand. It's spelled Tissot. Tissot wristwatch. So he's been presented with 3 of these luxury wristwatches there as he has won in the paracycling competition. Here's the awkward part. The guy has no wrists because he has no arms. He's a paracyclist. They're giving wristwatches to a dude that has no wrists. He can't put on a wristwatch. You'd think they'd think those things through before giving out those kinds of awards, wouldn't you? But he was very gracious. He didn't complain. I appreciate the fact that he was gracious about it and simply accepted it. It's probably for sale on eBay right now to sell those watches. Do you have something to add there, Paul?
Oh, I have a lot to add, but it's kind of a funny thing. It's kind of in the same vein, but when I was working in radio in Southern California, oldies station, we gave away 2 cars to one person. We gave away a 56 Chevy car and a 60-something truck.
Wow.
And we gave them both to the same person.
Blind?
And the guy that ended up winning them was blind.
Yeah.
He came in, he turned the key. They had to help him try to put his hand in the fishbowl and pull out a random key. He was blind. But he was such a great person and a great sport.
That's
and
cool.
A great person for me on the radio that I made it a point. I was the morning show guy. Every Friday, I called him up and awarded him a prize. I gave him whale watching passes.
Good for
I
you.
gave him movie passes. I gave him miniature golf. Everything that a blind person would, not be prone to do. But I did. I gave it to him.
Good for you.
And it's a sense of humor. Sometimes they have to understand that this is their lot in life and that. But you got to think about the wristwatch for somebody with no hands. That's
especially if it's the Paralympics, which
Right,
tells you that
right.
everyone is going to be missing a limb or something, moving forward. Let's not get devices. I mean, get a pocket watch or something. I mean, everybody can get put on a pocket of some sort, but wristwatches would I feel like they didn't think that through very well. I don't know how you guys feel about lightning. I am scared to death of lightning. Every time there's lightning, I am like the dogs that get scared of lightning. You ever have a dog that's shy of lightning? I am the dog that hates lightning. I hate lightning.
Do you need a thunder jacket, Joe?
I
you have a
do.
thunder jacket?
I need someone to hold on to me tight and hug me when there's thunder and lightning because it just scares me so much. And we have had not one but kind of 3 lightning strikes in the past couple days. A 12-year-old Florida girl and her mom were both hit by lightning Monday afternoon. The young girl took the brunt of the strike. The mother was knocked to the ground because of the power coming from the lightning bolt. It happened at Sebastian Inlet. A 12-year-old girl and her mom both expected to survive after being struck by lightning Monday afternoon. And then on Tuesday late afternoon, yesterday afternoon/evening, a woman was struck by lightning, is said to be in critical condition. This happened on Dowden Road in Orlando. Do you know where that is, Paul? Do you know your roads? Dowden Road?
Yes, I do. Yep.
Is that a place? Dowden Road is a place? You can confirm
Dowden,
that?
I believe. Yeah, it is.
That is a place. So a woman is in critical condition after being struck by lightning. For the mom and the child that were struck in Sebastian Inlet, they were basically playing at the beach. And in fact, as I read the story, a lot of people who saw it happen were wondering, "Hey guys, you need to come in out of the storm." What's the adage? When the thunder roars, go indoors. Right? They say when thunder roars, go indoors. I mean, I go indoors well before the thunder roars. Because my phone alerts me anytime there's a lightning in the area, and my first thought is, "Ooh, do I want to go send a drone up?" And my second thought is, I've got to get away from the lightning and thunder.
Joe, my wife is a school teacher, an elementary school teacher, and 2 years ago, just outside of the school grounds, a student's mom and her older daughter were both killed.
I remember that
while they were waiting for the kids to be released.
I remember that. In fact,
that was something.
They took cover under a tree.
And that's a really bad thing to do because the lightning struck the tree and went through them as a conductor and killed them both.
Yeah, that's the first thing they teach in lightning school is don't seek cover under a tree in the middle of a lightning storm. It might protect you from the rain, but it is not going to protect you from the lightning. Follow up, by the way, to the truancy story that we mentioned earlier. So here's the story about all the kids that are missing. So school attendance has tanked across the United States. Students have been absent at record rates since schools reopened during the pandemic. More than a quarter of students missed at least 10% of the 2021-2022 school year. Wait, that's the same year? That's the same year that...
COVID, isn't it?
No, that's the same year that these parents went to jail. Yeah, the 2021-2022 school year. So,
do you know?
So they
I looked it up.
They sent parents to jail. They sent parents to jail in Missouri because their kids were truant at a time in which I'm going to go back to the statistic. A quarter of students missed at least 10% of the 2021-2022 school year, making them chronically absent. That blows my mind that when there is nationwide truancy going on in Missouri, they sent 2 single moms to jail because their kids missed less than 2 weeks of school.
I have been researching this as far as laws go, and it looks like it does appear to be a law that you can be brought to court on a civil violation or even arrested if your child does not attend school regularly.
Right, and I recognize that. I acknowledge that. I recognize that there are laws on the books that say that parents can be sent to jail if their kids are truant. And the Missouri Supreme Court says that it is constitutional, that it's not unconstitutional to send a parent to jail. But I go back to what I said. Just because it's legal, just because it's constitutional, does not mean it's a good idea. And particularly when most of America, when a quarter of students missed at least 10% of the 2021-2022 school year, that is a particularly bad time to send single moms to jail. In fact, absences were most prevalent amongst Latino, Black, and low-income students. You know, these are people who don't have child care. They don't have access to some of these, resources that others might have access to. So that makes it all the more despicable that Missouri school officials decided to send 2 single moms to jail because their kids missed 13, 14 days of school. 844-580-WDBO or use the open mic in the WDBO app.
The Joe Kelley Show on WDBO. The Joe Kelley Show on WDBO. Orange, Seminole, Osceola, and all of Central Florida. Join the conversation now by using the open mic in the WDBO app. Now, the Joe Kelley Show on Orlando's News and Talk, WDBO.
I don't know if you know this, but a member of Kamala Harris's security detail has been injured. This is not a regular member of her security detail. It's not a Secret Service agent. It is a police officer, which, when these executives travel, so when the president and vice president travel, yes, they have Secret Service protection, but they're supplemented by local law enforcement officials. Usually, when it comes to the motorcade, especially, and in this case, it was a police officer, a Bellevue, Washington police officer, as Kamala Harris was in Seattle last Tuesday. So, when was she in Seattle, Paul Cross? If she was there last Tuesday.
A week ago this Tuesday.
No. It was yesterday.
Yesterday, okay. No.
So yesterday, you think I got stories that old? I don't have stories that old. Come on, man, it's news.
Well, a week ago
this is a news station,
yesterday.
Not a history station, okay?
Oh, yeah.
So this was yesterday. A police officer on a motorcycle, get this is terrible, seriously injured on a service detail protecting Kamala Harris during her visit to Seattle yesterday after he and the motorcycle careened off a 60-foot on-ramp and landed on the interstate below. Holy smokes. So a 60-foot on-ramp, generally speaking, 10 feet is equivalent to a one-story building. So 60 feet would then be a 6-story building. So this guy plunged effectively off of a 6-story building and landed on the concrete down below. The 39-year-old officer was conscious and alert after the fall, taken to a local hospital for treatment, but he is said to be in serious condition. I tell you, everybody say a prayer tonight for that officer, because that sucks. My name is Joe Kelley, along with Paul Cross, Laurel Lee. Thank you so much. Also, the new guy, Greg. We'll hear from him eventually. Eventually, we'll find his voice. He's got to find his voice on his own first, and then we will find his voice after that. I'm Joe Kelley, and we'll see you back here tomorrow afternoon, 5 to 7, right here on WDBO.
Now,
The Louisiana Swamplands. Out here, you're either lunch or you're enjoying it. Make sure you end up on top with the all-powerful lineup of Kia SUVs, like the Telluride, Sportage, and Sorento, equipped with available all-wheel drive, higher ground clearance, and the interior capacity to bring everything you need, so you'll always remain more than a gator's length ahead. Visit your local Kia dealer today to find your next adventure in our ever-capable lineup of SUVs. Kia, movement that inspires.
Call 800-3334-KIA for details. Always drive safely.